I use these kinds of videos, and I'm talking to you, the viewer, directly. I'm not doing a camera friend roleplay thing right now. I use these kind of videos to just kind of, I don't really vent, but just talk. Because I don't really get a chance to do that with my other content. Because I'm playing a character. I can't start talking about Twitter changing its name to X, or Elon Musk changing Twitter to X. In a doctor roleplay, it wouldn't really make sense. So I just kind of use these kinds of videos to really talk. Be me almost, right? Because I think I talked a little bit about this in my 5-year anniversary video. For those of you that watched that, thank you. I think I talked a little bit about it in my 5-year anniversary video. But it's kind of like I like being me, right? It's not that I don't like doing the doctor roleplays. I love doing the doctor roleplays because all of you enjoy them, and that's really what keeps me going. Sometimes I just like being me. If nobody watched that, that's why I really like the unboxing videos, because then I can really get to be me, because I get to geek out over some video games. But oops. It's like, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my nose today. It's sort of like, I used to not enjoy the dog roleplays. I guess I should just rip the band-aid off. I used to not enjoy them. I enjoy them now, but again, I talked a little bit about this in my 5-year anniversary. But it was middle of 2020. No, it was the end of 2020. COVID was still a major problem. It was not as major of a problem as it was in the middle of 2020, but it was still a pretty big issue. And even going into 2021 was a big issue. And I was really, really depressed. Not just because I was locked inside my house for the better part of a year, which a lot of people were, but because of YouTube. And I loved seeing everybody comment on all my great videos. At that point, I was at probably 1,100 subscribers. So I hit 1,000 in the middle of 2020. So probably by the end, I was probably at close to, probably around 1,150, getting close to 1,200. Is probably what I was at. I could probably look in the analytics, but I'm not gonna worry about that. So it was the end of 2020. I was really starting to lose steam. In 2020 going into 2021, I was really starting to lose steam, and I actually planned on quitting ASMR. And I've been over all this in the 5-year anniversary, but I actually plan on quitting because it wasn't really working out mentally. It was working out view-wise. I mean, everyone loved it, but it wasn't really doing it for me, because I just felt like nobody was watching me for me. They were watching me play character, and I didn't really want that. I didn't want people to watch me play someone else, which is odd because it's all actors do. But I guess that's what they're paid millions of dollars to do that, so they can get over it. Anyways, so actually I planned on quitting ASMR, and I said, you know what? It was getting around March 2020. You see where this is going. It was around March 2021, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a couple more videos, and then I think I'm done. And actually, it was actually the last video I planned to do was my original fastest cranial nerve exam. said, after this, I'm done, right? So I made that, and it completely blew my expectations out of the water within like the first week. And when I had 1,000 subscribers, it was kind of like, it was sort of like, it was like, all right, well, I've peaked, right? When I had 1,000 subscribers, it's like, all right, well, I'm here, I peaked. It's pretty much all downhill from here, right? I'll get a couple subscribers here and there, whatever. In March 2021, I uploaded that video, and it now has over 1.1 million views. And when it kept going up, I noticed it was not stopping, and I realized, oh, this is real. And I realized at that very moment that I couldn't quit. Did I still want to? Kind of. Everyone was really enjoying that video. Everyone was really enjoying that video. But it was still me playing a character, right? Still me playing a character, and I wasn't happy with that. I don't know, it was just kind of like, it kind of felt like a stab in the face to my other videos, maybe, I don't know. But as I realized I couldn't quit, I kept making videos. I eventually just came to terms with the fact that not only did I come to terms, but I became happy with where I was. I became happy with what people watched me for. And I realized at that very moment that I was doing what I do best, which is playing a character. And I guess that was kind of my moment. Excuse me. It was kind of like where I was leading into 2022. I was kind of it was for the better part of 2021 and going into 2022, and even some into 2022, I was in a really dark place. I was really, for those of you that don't know, I go to therapy, and in 2020 I turned 18. So I turned 18, and I had a therapist. At that point, I had my therapist for 11 years. It was a child therapist. I had her since I was 7. I had the therapist since I was 7, and when I turned 18, obviously, I had to be dropped because the services didn't include adults. And 2020 was a great year for it, because I was shoved on a waiting list for a new therapist for several months, and it was a really, really, really difficult time for me, because I guess I kind of took it for granted, my therapist, my therapy sessions, because not my therapist herself. I mean, but I mean, like my therapy, my sessions. I really took it for granted because I had it for such a long time, and I had it for most of my life at that point. I mean, 11 years. I was 18. That's more than half my life. And I realized very quickly that I needed that in my life, and when I didn't have it in my life, it was sort of like really, really bad, because I realized I really didn't feel like I had nobody to talk to. I had my family, this and that, but it really felt like there was no third party. Because your family, you can talk to your family, and your family's a great support network. But it felt like there was there was bias almost. Like it was like they want, because your family, you're great, they're great to talk to, but they're gonna want something for you. They want you to succeed, right? So they're gonna tell you what they think, and this and that, whatever. Um, I felt like there was a lot of bias. That's not a stab at my family. My family was great to me at that time of my life. But there was a lot of bias. What I should be doing, what I should be focusing on, this and that. And I had nobody on the outside to talk to. Especially not friends, because it was still 2020. And we couldn't go outside. I mean, the most I'd go outside was to go to the grocery store. And nobody was, no, I mean, it was a really dark time for me. As it was for many. That's why the waiting list was so long. But eventually I did get off the waiting list. I have a therapist now. She's great. She certainly helps with issues that I'm working through. It's really just a nice to talk to somebody. I mean, wow, I really didn't plan for the video to devolve into this. Holy God. But it's really, we talk. I talk. It's nice to just talk to somebody. And I guess that's the moral of not only this video, this roleplay, the caring friend roleplays, but really just talking to you, the viewer. I mean, it's like always just reach out, talk to people. You have a support network, especially if you're dealing with mental illness like depression, like me. I mean, I'm just kind of like, you need a support network. And in 2020, for a good part of 2020, I didn't have one. And then things got worse actually when I got that therapist, because I'd started a new job in October of 2020, and I now do as I say, not as I do. I gave up my therapy. I still had the therapist, but I stopped making appointments to pick up more hours for more money at my job, and you can imagine where that led to. God, that's probably the biggest mistake in my life, was that. And I actually got to the point where work pulled me aside and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I told them, I'm like, I practically gave up my mental health for this job. And they're like, stop, go back to therapy. So I did. I went back to therapy, and I've been, well, I guess I haven't been happy. I mean, nobody's 100% happy all the time, but it was kind of like, it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders when I went back to therapy, because I had somebody to talk to again. And don't make the same mistake I did. Do not give up that support network for anything, but for more work hours, for more money. But don't give up your support network, because God, it was awful. I was stressed. I was really, really stressed, because I was working 40 plus hours a week, and I didn't have somebody to talk to about it. At that point, I was saving up for my apartment, and I really needed the money. And I said, I'm just gonna give up therapy. Whatever, right? And that was a big mistake, huge mistake. So, I guess the moral of the story is, don't give up support network for anything. Get a support network, then don't let it go, because you're gonna need it. I really didn't mean the video for it to devolve into this. My God, this was meant to be a caring friend roleplay, and then it's turned into this. Now I have no idea what the title of this video at all. Maybe I'll just cut out the caring friend part, and I'll just I don't know. So yeah, I guess I guess I should thank you as well. These past few months doing daily uploads, it's been challenging. Just because it's a lot on me. But what keeps me coming back is you, the viewer, to comment, or you don't even have to comment. The fact that you watch the video, you can even dislike the video if you want. And nobody will ever know. You just took that away. Well, I know, obviously. But you won't, or whoever, you won't see the number. I do. So thank you, all that dislike. Kidding. You can even dislike the video, but as long as you watch it, that means the world to me. And I mean, it's sort of like you saved me almost, because then I wasn't originally going to disclose this, but I guess now I kind of have to. There was points in my life where I considered, ending. And it was YouTube that really brought me back and like grounded me and said, hey, you matter, right? You matter. And if you do that, look at all you're leaving behind. That's been most of my, that's been since I was 7. Can you believe that? Yeah. No, that's not true. I was diagnosed with severe depression when I was 7 years old. If you can believe it, I was 7. And I started having suicidal tendencies around 10. And I've been dealing with that since I was 10. And it was very, very difficult to deal with. But then I found YouTube and I made this channel. And for lack of a better term, you all saved me. Don't think this is a cry for help. Please don't think this is a cry for help. This is not. I'm not in danger. This is just me talking. Just getting this off my chest. And it was kind of like, especially 2020 was really, really bad for that. When I didn't have a therapist, and I felt kind of lost on this channel, because I felt like like I said, I felt like nobody was watching me for me. It was really rough. But I'm okay. I sought help, and I came to terms with what I am on this channel and what I'm good at and what people watch me for, and and the fact is that I can do these talking videos and people will still watch them, and that's enough. They don't watch them as much as the doctor role plays. I get that. The cranial nerve exam is doing insanely well, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm talking to you. And either in the cranial nerve exam role plays or in this, I'm speaking to you and I'm entertaining you and I'm putting you to sleep. And it really, really, it really makes me happy to do that. Wow, the video really devolved, didn't it? Good God. I suppose I should wrap this up by saying thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for thank you. It really truly means the world to me that you all are here. So yeah. Suppose I gotta cut out the caring friend part, don't I? And just title this like talking about my life or something. Alright, thank you. See ya.